What's your word? What's your word?
It's the bees of boxing. It's myself, Chris Tidwell, and the man, as always, Steve Swift. I've got a few questions that I want to ask you guys, though, because we are a week away from one of the biggest fights that they've been promoting for a long time. Finally, it is Independence Weekend, and Canelo Alvarez is going to grace our presence with another outing inside of the ring, and this time against Terrence Crawford. Now, who, in my question, on this card, we're going to find out today, who has the most to lose? Is it Terrence Crawford? Is it Canelo Alvarez? Is it the promoters? Is it somebody on the undercard? I got a few things there. We're also going to talk a little bit about, yes, it looks like Sebastian Fundora is now once again got himself a fight. This time, ladies and gentlemen, against 3-apple tall Keith Thurman. That's right. And I don't think you could see anything funnier. Yeah, don't adjust your TV sets when you watch these weigh-ins. It's going to be a little silly. We're going to address this fight that's been announced. I also want to touch base very quickly about, it looks like we're going to get Fabio Wardley, Joseph Parker in the O2 Arena. Is that the right place for this fight? Of course, I mean, we talk about Conor Benn, and, of course, Chris Eubank Jr. That fight is going to be happening. And it looks like we'd be remiss if we weren't talking about Jake Paul in some kind of way, because I'm sure we're going to mention him. We are going to mention Darren Till and Misfits Boxing, because more importantly, it's another week, and yet you're going to have to sit around and listen to another installment of, Hey, Carl, what the hell is your problem? That's what we're going to call this segment, I think, this week. Okay, I'm going to call it, because the man making sounds over in the other screen there. First of all, thank you foremost to everybody watching this on YouTube, and thank you to everybody listening to it on all of your podcast providers. We appreciate everything. And as usual, here's the man of the hour, too sweet to be sour. I'm not talking about Larry Sweeney. God bless his soul. Shout out Larry in heaven. Talking about Steve Swift. Steve, how you doing today, brother?
I'm all right. I'll make your back crack and your liver quiver. It's on my CV under special skills: horse riding, back cracking, liver quivering, all of those things. Yes, I'm very well. It's late here. It's 9:00 in the evening. When you get to my age, you need a good malted milk drink and a nightcap. And I do wear one.
Well, I mean, when you said liver quiver and back crack and the riding of the horses, I thought you were describing tequila. That's pretty much, it does all of those things as well.
Yes, I think you're right.
Do you guys actually over in England, do you get any good tequila?
Well, we get tequila. I don't quite know. I mean, I don't know what the exemplar of tequila is. I mean, okay. That might be, is that Sammy Hagar stuff?
Yeah,
that he tells us is so good. That's the exemplar. That's the best tequila you could possibly get.
Oh boy, I wouldn't wash my shoes with that stuff. That is horrible, horrible stuff. Yeah, no. Okay, let's get into this, because, like I said, we are a week away from Canelo Alvarez, Terrence Crawford, and this is a fight that we've been talking about for a while now. And next time you hear us talk about this fight, it'll be because there's a winner in this fight, and that means that there's a loser in this fight as well. And you look at some of the undercard of this fight, and everybody's been talking about, well, the fans are going to be the losers because the undercard seems to be a little weak. Now, I don't see it as that, to be honest with you. I look at this as a way for a lot of these guys to show up and show out. This is the underlying thing that I see in all of this, is who's behind this, putting this one on. Yes, it's Netflix. So if you have a Netflix account, you're covered. There's no more pay-per-view stuff like that. But I don't mean that. I mean this brand, this TKO brand that they're bringing in to promote this thing. we're talking about Dana White, who we know is going to be moving over into another role, I'm sure, and we'll be talking about that one again, even though we've already mentioned it. Go back and watch the history books and you'll see it. Steve, my question for you, though, looking down this card, I'm going to throw a couple of fights out there. You've got Terrence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez at the top. Lester Martinez, Christian and Billy, Callum Walsh, Fernando Vargas Jr. Those are your three, your main, your co-main, and your feature fight. I don't understand what people are complaining about on this card. Out of those three that are put into that position, who do you think has the most to lose in this case?
Well, clearly Canelo. I mean, he has the most to lose because he's because of his ego. Terence Crawford has nothing to lose here. Absolutely nothing to lose. You know, he's got a ready-made excuse. Not that I think he's that kind of dude. You know, I don't think he's kind of, oh, well, you know, my little toe was hurt, so I couldn't punch. Mr. Hay? You know, not like that. He's not like that. But he's got a ready-made excuse of, well, actually, I came up in weight hugely, and you know, it was an experiment, and you don't know until you get there, do you? You know, you can do that in sparring, but when you get in the ring, that's when you really find out. If Canelo cannot defeat Crawford, and I've said it before, folks, I don't think he will. I think Crawford will beat him, and I think that's it. That's it. I don't see him. I can't see where else he can go. As you say, he could go back home, but he'll be found out if that happens. It's an enormous. He's kind of been. I was going to say that Terence Crawford, well, they both have. They've kind of been bullied into it, really, by fans and pundits and podcasters and all of that who want to see this fight. And it does seem to me like a kind of crossover boxing fight, because you've got coming up in weight, and you've got Frankenstein's monster walking around the ring to try and find him. Canelo, it's a final situation for Canelo, and this is the real test in a way, because we've seen him win time after time, but recently he's been tarnished so badly that actually he needs this fight, and if he loses, that's it, it's done.
You're right. He does need this fight. I mean, it is Independence Weekend, so that's always a big thing. It's almost like, oh, Canelo's, here's another one. There's like a couple of guarantees. You know what I mean? The Detroit Lions are going to lose on Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving, when they play. And, Canelo Alvarez is going to win on Mexican Independence. I don't know if that's the case here. I'd like to think it is, just based on size, based on everything that, natural that you can base this on. Canelo Alvarez, don't get it twisted, is a weight bully in this one. He's made this guy skip 2 weight classes, which is a smart move for anybody. And we're going to get into that in a second, a little bit later on, as to why you don't want to fight at that, at that one right in between there. But I think that neither one of these guys are the ones that have the most to lose in all of this. I think that Canelo Alvarez, let's say Canelo Alvarez loses in this. No big deal. That's just, okay, you've gotten rid of some belts, but everybody knows that money fights are still out there. And this retirement, old-time league, that you've been talking about, it'd be a perfect spot for him. Absolutely. That's the biggest money fights without any belts involved that you could possibly have. Terrence Crawford, if he loses, then I think that, he just goes right back down to where he was, right, at 154. And he continues, he fights, Boots. He fights Ennis, and he goes back and clears out that division. I don't think he goes down 1 weight class. because then he's stuck fighting guys like Sebastian Fundora. And we're going to get into that in a second. I think probably the most to gain in this, maybe a little bit to lose, Christian and Billy, because Christian and Billy is a guy that should have that fight with Canelo Alvarez, but nobody knows who he is enough. That's the problem. I think that if him and Lester Martinez have the fight that we anticipate they're going to have, both of those guys are going to be able to write their own check anywhere. This is the fight of the card, if you're asking me. And there's a reason why it's the co-main. And if Christian and Billy has a good outing in this, which everybody's expecting him to do, then that is the obvious next professional fight for Canelo Alvarez. But then I say professional fight because we know dollars make more sense. And if Jake Paul comes at him with the right dollars, then that will make sense. There you go, Jake, number one. The person who I think probably has the most to lose in all of this is Callum Walsh. And I'll tell you why. Callum Walsh is the guy that has been touted as the TKO boxing guy. He's had Dana and Dana's brand behind him for the last little while. He's 14-0. This is his chance to show out on Netflix in front of millions of people, not just for himself, but for the brand that he's been representing, that going forward, if Callum Walsh wants to be in that, I'm a headliner for this TKO boxing stuff, or if I'm just one of the normal guys. But this is why they've been building him they need this young guy to be their homegrown headliner. So if it doesn't go well for him, he's got the most to lose, in my opinion, in this case.
It is a tasty undercard. I mean, you're right that people will go, huh? Who? If you're a casual fan, you're who? And I can understand why people would say that and would say, well, it's the main event that I'm interested in. Well, you're right. Everybody has the opportunity to. It's that situation where you step into the spotlight, or you trip over your own laces, and that's it for you. You either blossom into that spotlight, or it's a Hamza Shiraz situation, isn't it? Either you do that, or you fall, and we won't see you again. So actually, you have the opportunity. I love stuff like this, where you say it's now or never. Same thing for Canelo, in my view. I think there's one thing that you might be missing, which is Canelo's ego. So yes, you can get that money, and that will salve some of your feelings about, if he loses, having your last big fight and losing that to a guy who'd made come up in weight. But that ego might eat at him, I suspect. But it's tasty because, as you say, everyone's got something to lose here.
Here's the thing. I don't think everybody talks about, the main event of this card, the main event. I want to see Canelo Alvarez, Terrence Crawford. It's going to be great. Here's my hot take on it. I think it's going to be shit. I think it's going to be garbage. And not that it's going to be a bad fight. I think that this fight was made off of name, not style. And they say styles make fights, not names. Names don't make fights. The problem with this one that I see is you have two guys that are such calculated punchers and such calculated defense-wise. They're not going to allow themselves to open up or throw themselves into danger enough. Now, Terrence Crawford will throw himself into danger a little bit more, and he's got to understand that he's going to have to in this fight because he's going up in weight, and he's got to try to put it on him. He's definitely got to try to put it on Canelo. There's no doubt about that. But I don't think that this is going to be that great of a fight, and I think that this is why they have Lester Fernandez, Christian and Billy in that co-main event, because that's really going to be a fight that you don't want to miss, ladies and gentlemen. That's the fight for this weekend, in my opinion. And we didn't even mention that our boy Inoue is fighting on Sunday again. he's got a way of following up. He's like, hey, did you see that fight on Friday? No. Oh, wow. How about the bigger one on Saturday? No. Oh, okay. Well, I'm fighting on Sunday. If you're not doing anything while enjoying your brunch, maybe you can stop by and represent. So we didn't even talk about that because the Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez fight has it's just lapsed everything. Now, go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to say, and put this on record, and probably won't be a very popular take. I've never been calling for Canelo versus Bud Crawford. I haven't. It's as if, well, hang on, who else is there for them to fight? Canelo? Okay, yeah, go on, Canelo versus Crawford. It's that kind of fantasy booking where there's nothing else. So I never called for it. I could do without it. But now it's here. I'll be watching the hell out of it.
Well, and I mentioned it earlier about like skipping a division to go up to fight Canelo. And we talked about this, and you're talking about fighting a guy like Sebastian Fundora. And we've seen what he's been doing to guys lately. And it looks like one time. I don't know why he says it 3 fucking times if it's just one time. But anyways, Keith Thurman has decided to jump up and literally punch up in his own weight division. I don't know if you saw these pictures that were taken. There's got to be 1.5 feet in height difference. I don't know how Keith Thurman thinks that he's going to get in there, but it looks like in October, at the end of October, right before Halloween, it's going to be an early trick or treat. That's for damn sure, Steve. What do you make of this fight in the first place?
Well, yet again, and I feel as though I keep saying this. It's the influencer boxing thing. It's hey, big fighter, little fighter, what a way to go. It's that kind of situation that you've got. You don't even need to look at the fight. You don't even need to be there to look at the fight. You can enjoy watching the pictures. It's that kind of it's not a freak show. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that the fight's not good enough on its own. So we're going to need a really big dude and a smaller dude now, because that's something that is a good meme. So we'll just have that. We don't need the fight. It's like people who now, because of all the social media, in politics, they just announce a policy and that's done. Don't need to have any idea of the policy or actually do anything with it. I've announced it, so that's all I need to do. It's that kind of thing. It's and I'm already bored with that. But it'll be interesting to watch, won't it? In spite of myself, I'm saying, well, it'll be fun.
When this fight was first announced, much like every other fight of Fundora's, but when this fight was announced and they took that picture, I thought for sure I was looking at a promo picture for the new Street Fighter that they're going to be filming soon, because that's what this looked like to me. It looked like, Dalsim against whoever, but it's just absolutely ridiculous that, first of all, that Fundora is able to make that weight. I don't understand. And it's gonna be time. You know, as I do, it's only going to be a matter of time before he's going to have to move up, because his body can't make that weight. It just happens with age, unless you're Manny Pacquiao and all of a sudden you just go 17 weight classes in 3 days. Naturally, of course.
He was a very good trainer, an excellent trainer, and he's got a great nutritionist. That's why.
Here's a little side note for you. And I said that, you know how we have an ongoing thing here about we're always right and ahead of the game. And it's not just to blow our own horns, but it happens. It happens here. And we talked about how I said that there is going to happen in 2026. There's going to be a fight between Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. And everybody, whatever. Nobody hears nothing, right? But recently, there was an article that came out. An interview was done with Floyd Mayweather Jr., where he said, when they asked, who's the hardest puncher you've ever been in there with? And his answer was Manny Pacquiao. Now, why would this article be coming out? Why would that news statement, why that question, why all of these things? Seeds are being planted, ladies and gentlemen, and you don't even realize it's happening unless you listen to us right here, because we'll tell you. Because this is exactly what's happening. This is exactly what's going on. I don't want to sound like Alex Jones or anything, but I'm telling you, it's not a conspiracy. Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao are going to fight next year.
Yes, I think that's absolutely right, and more necessary now than ever after Mayweather's recent announcement of his next opponent. You know, we need, he'll need something to take that nasty taste away, because you know, not only is it something I'm not interested in particularly, he's not ahead of the curve. So Jake Paul is ahead of the curve now, and that's something that Mayweather won't really, I suspect, like, because he wants to be the main guy. And Jake Paul already fought Mr. Tyson. So actually, if you're looking to do that, then I don't know why you've chosen him, because we've already seen he can't really do even 3 rounds now. And it wasn't very good. And what you're doing, you've got sloppy seconds, mate. So what's the point of that?
Exactly. Now, moving on up, I got a question for you, Steve. And I'm going to need your insight on this one, because you live over there and you have a lot better thumb on the pulse. That's right, the thumb on the pulse. So double pulse. Why, first of all, why is there a fight between Fabio Wardley? Okay, I got to get this. Okay, I'm going to try this again. Why is there a Wardley Parker fight happening? First of all. Second of all, Steve, why is it happening at the fucking O2?
The thing is that I think it's that well, Usyk's pulling the strings here, isn't he? Because really, the Parker camp has said, "Oh well, stodge you then. I'll just go and fight someone else. You'll do." Because he can't wait
like
for
me.
Hey,
that's exactly what it feels like to me.
Yeah. I don't think he could take much longer to say, well, hang on a minute, let's see who we've got, because the protracted Usyk stuff, that feeds into that. I'd be saying, and you'd be saying, I'm sure, well, it just feels like the Usyk stuff now. Now you're going to see who you want to fight. That's going to take a few weeks, isn't it? Right, Wardley, have him. Okay, then. But I mean, he's come out today again, Parker and the Parker camp. I mean, it's top level boxing goading. It really is. He's saying, I don't think you really want to fight me. I don't think he does either, because there's not enough money or interest in it. You know, Joe, I happen to think you seem to be a really nice bloke. You're a really good fighter, but really you're not Tyson Fury level, and I don't want that fight. But that's the fight for Usyk, unless, of course, and Usyk was. I mean, he really poked him with this. I might make my final fight an MMA fight with Jake Paul. I love Usyk so much. I mean, they're really having a go. And I don't think they will fight. I think they'll fight once more, and it will be the Tyson Fury fight, because Turkey Al-Sheikh wants that. So I think that's going to happen. And I think he's just taking the piss. So Parker needed something.
I absolutely agree with that. And I think that he is taking the piss out of this, because it's almost like he's sitting back and going, I don't want to fight. I'm not ready to fight. Well, somebody's got to fight. All right. How about you make those 2 guys fight and I'll fight the winner of that? Okay. Well, what 2 guys? I don't care. Here's a belt. Let them fight to see who I'm going to fight to get that belt back. Because he's already done this once. Now he's going to do this twice. But the thing is, on this one around, I think whoever wins in this fight isn't going to end up fighting Usyk anyways. I don't think that there's neither one of those guys there's nothing on the bone for Usyk in either one of those fights. If you think that what he did in Usyk's last fight was anything but amazing, that was twice as long as what he will do with either one of those guys. And that's only if he chooses to. There's so many levels to this. And the unfortunate thing is in heavyweight boxing, a lot of heavyweights get thrown in there because they're heavyweights, not because they're boxers. That's the one division where you don't have to be a boxer to be in boxing. And that's the bullshit part of the business. Another B that we talk about here on the Bees of Boxing, right?
Yeah. And the thing is that there are lots of people, and we talk about the burgeoning British heavyweight picture, and it's great, but the word is burgeoning. It's not there yet. Right. So, you can perm anyone, can't you, from 3 at least? So, I mean, Moses Town is a different matter, but you could have had David Adelaide in there, couldn't you? Could have had him in there. You could have had Martin Bacoli. You got Fabio Wardley. So any of those would have done. I can't imagine that Wardley, I mean, he's got a puncher's chance, but I can't imagine it's going to end well for him. It won't mess his career up or anything because he's still learning. And, and Parker, he said, I mean, what the WBO said is, oh, well, Usyk's got to fight. As you say, they said he's got to fight the winner. Has he?
Oh, he doesn't.
I can hear him unclipping his belt and dropping it to the floor right now while he's dancing to a disco tune and taking the piss. And as you say, they've chosen a big arena for that. I'll tell you one thing, it's going to be echoey in there.
It is. I feel like this is going to be an event where there's going to be like a bouncy castle in the corner. There's going to be like a dunk tank, maybe like get your face painted over there. This is the fight that's going to be happening in the middle of a carnival. Bring your kids, only half off for seniors, and you get 4 free ride tickets along with your admission. That's what this is going to be.
Yeah, get a turkey dinner. Get a turkey dinner while you're watching Wardley get the shit beat out of him. And then afterwards, after Joseph Parker has beaten him, he can get on the turnbuckle and jump into an enormous ball pit. That would I paid to see that.
If they were to set up and let them fight in the middle of one of those medieval times dinner theater shows that you can go to. Yeah, I'd be okay with that. That would be fantastic. I would be more interested, Steve Swift. I would be more interested in seeing Parker and Wardley in a jousting competition on horseback than I am in watching the two of them fight.
I would love that with the ref checking their visors. And visor, okay? Yeah.
Right?
How about you, Joseph Parker?
Put him in full armor, chainmail, full armor. Give him a couple of swords, just let them go at it.
So the first 3 rounds, you get the horse, and then after that, you get the mace and all of that, and the shield. You varlet, I'll have you, you varlet, and all that kind of stuff. And you don't get a spit bucket you don't get the bottles. You get a cup of mead. That would be great.
Of honey mead, and Usyk is dressed up as the princess up in the top of the thing because that's that's literally who you're trying to get a shot at.
And he's like this. He's like this the whole time.
Yeah. It's unbelievable that they think that this is going to actually do anything. The only other thing that I can think of that is more of a nothing burger and more ridiculous, in my opinion, is the pandering. That's right. I'm going to say it right now, right here, right now. The pandering that one Mr. your friend, your good chum, your buddy, Carl Froch, is clearly, look me in the eye when I say this. No, he's not doing this at all with Darren Till right now. Listen, we'll rewind it a little bit for some of you that may not have been paying attention, but Darren Till, after winning his fight at Misfits Boxing, called out Carl Froch. Carl Froch was there. Carl Froch said, I don't want nothing to do with this. And then Carl decided to put out a video on his own little YouTube channel talking about how, he doesn't need this. And he watched Darren Till get sparked out by this person and get choked out by this person and get choked out by this person. Carl, stop with the MMA references, because if you wanted to go that route, then we're talking kicks. And I'm telling you right now, you're not taking one kick from Darren Till. We're talking about boxing, straight up boxing. So let's talk his boxing compared to your boxing. The one fight that you know that you want is the Groves fight. Well, that's not going to happen unless the two of you end up in the same retirement home someplace down the line. Or maybe you can get on the Wardley Parker sideshow. I don't know. That might be a thing. Groves ain't taking that fight there, Carl. Sorry. And you know he's not. You know the only fight that's going to be available to you out there to keep your name in the limelight is going to be fighting an MMA guy who's making some noise in crossover influencer boxing. This is where your stock has fallen so far down the line that you couldn't just walk away from boxing and be gone. No, you had to pull a Paulie Malignaggi and open your mouth and end up in this mess. Well, what's going to happen is Darren Till's going to end up fighting you. You're going to sign that contract. You're going to do it for a crossover card. Stop pretending like it's not something that you don't need. Stop pretending that it's beneath you. Stop pretending that you're better than that. You're not. You're not better than that. And you're going to be broke. We all end up going broke at some point or another, or our limit gets down past that level that we have that comfort zone. So just take the fight. Don't try to string this thing along either like, I don't want it. Oh, and then all of a sudden you have it. You want it. You know you want it. Carl, look me in the eye when I say this to you. You want it so bad. You can't have anything else but this. This keeps you up at night right now. I guarantee you it does. Doesn't keep Darren Till up at night, but it keeps you up at night. Darren Till ain't making videos about it. You are. Stop the games, Carl. Sign the papers. Get punched in the face by an MMA guy. You afraid? You might be a little afraid. You might be a little afraid, Steve.
Well, yeah. Thank you for that. That's that you said a mouthful, and I can't disagree with any of it really. One thing that I didn't know, and that I needed to be told over and over again, Tidster, is that he knocked somebody out in front of 80,000 people. Did you know that? Because I didn't know, but now I've been told 1,600 times. I do know. The thing is that you can't say, well, I don't really want this fight. You can't say it if somebody, me, for instance, has already seen Talk Sport in which they had Callie Sauerland, of course, of Vasserman Boxing, saying, well, I'm going to Nottingham to see Carl tomorrow. Are you? Well, you're not going to have tea and buns with him, are you, Callie? Because we're great mates, and I might have a Bakewell tart. You know, it's not that. You're going to go and you're going to try and sign him up. So he is talking to you. It's not as if you're going on spec and you videoed the Cobra saying, I'm not talking to you, mate. I'm not opening my door to you at all. He's probably got a portcullis and a moat. And he's saying, I'm not going to let you in, Callie. They're talking. And the thing is that there is another way to look at it. It's good content for his YouTube channel, which, you know, he desperately needs because, as I have said, that YouTube channel is so exciting that it doesn't send me to sleep in any way, shape, or form. So it's a shame. He's gonna. Eddie Hearn has now said on the Stomping Ground, lads, it's Stamping Ground podcast. I'm very pedantic about that sort of thing. He said it was a lovely interview with Eddie Hearn, and he was asked a load of stuff, and he said, what do you think about the fight? And he said, well, actually, because of ring rust, and it's been 11 years, which Carl keeps telling us, it could be a 50-50 fight. Carl does not want to hear that. And the more it goes on, the more that people are going to say what you just said is, which is, are you scared? Are you actually a shithouse? Which is a great phrase. How dare you? Shithouse. You can't say shit house. You just have to drop off the H. You're a shithouse because that's what, it's never been said better than by Tyson Fury. I shall do my impression. You're a shithouse. You're a dosser. There isn't a man alive who can beat me. It's become Brian Clough again. Anyway, I think that he's got to fight him, otherwise he will look a shithouse. And he's got an ego that you could hang fucking washing off. So there you go.
I always thought that was like the original lyrics to that old funk song from the 70s. You know, he's a shit house.
He's scared of fighting.
That's right. Like that's really what we're talking about. Because we live in this era where we've already seen it happen with Chris Eubank Sr. and Chris Eubank Jr. with the I'm not talking to my son, only to make the greatest pop ever, which everybody knew that this fight, that last fight between Ben and Eubank Jr. was not about them at all. It was about the dads. So there was no way in hell the dads weren't both going to be there. But the constant, I'm not gonna, I don't like him. He's not cute. I don't want to go to the dance with her. She smells bad. Shut up, you weirdos. You're all acting goofy. Stop it. Right. But we live in this age where that happened. And so Carl thinks that he's going to play this, I'm not looking at you, and then secretly, pull Darren Till's hair behind his back, and send him notes and stuff like that. Listen, just make this happen, man. Everybody, there's no shame.
Are you saying that Carl Froch wants to ask Darren Till to the prom? Is that what this is about?
I was going to say he's probably, it strikes me that Carl would ask Darren Till more to Sadie Hawkins than to the prom. That's what I'm saying. And I think we know how the rules. I think we know how the rules of the Sadie Hawkins dance go, don't we?
You can say that if you like. You're across the pond. I mean, he's 2 hours away from me, but he's 2 hours away. And in a plane, he's probably 40 minutes. So just stop. However, it is making Carl look a bit, it is making, I had a terrible, I was really popular once. And remember that 11 years ago? Yeah, well, I mean, Neo Soul was popular then. The Spice Girls were in the sodding charts. I went to see the movie. It was awful. But, that's a different time. So George Groves has got to be thinking, because he seems quite settled, George. He's got to be thinking, oh, dear.
What would be the greatest thing for George Groves to do is to put out a little video saying, Carl, here you're looking for a fight. Well, I got a guy for you. In steps Darren Till. Buddy, you shithouse. You're
a shithouse. You're just a shithouse.
It'd be the greatest thing. Groves could be like, no, I'm out. I'm not doing this. Here's the fight. If you want to fight, here's the fight.
Are we doing a Rocky 3 and I'm his trainer? I've just written it for you.
Groves is in Darren Till's corner for the fight against Carl Froch.
That's brilliant.
I'm tuning in for all of that.
Listen, Tidster, we just written it. We've just written it. This will now be happening. You know it will.
Yeah. You can send those checks over, KSI, prick. I don't want no cases of that prime swill either. I want cold, hard British pounds.
British pounds. It just never sounds right when somebody else says it. British pounds.
I want you to send me a trunk of sterling.
I wanted a £1 coin and a £2 coin with the king's head on it.
Forget it. Just send us a couple of Bitcoin. We'll be fine with that.
Yeah,
I know with that. What it's worth. Just send us one each. We're good.
I don't know how it works at all, but I really want one so I can be cool.
Yeah, right.
True. I got an 8 to a Bitcoin. I think it's worth about £500,000.
British pounds.
British pounds. Always British pounds. You're quite right. The pound sterling. Oh yeah, you've got the
Tremendous.
best currency. Yeah, I mean the thing is that KSI has got to be loving it.
Yes.
It will be happening on a Misfits card because
Yep.
we know that he said it twice now at Carl Froch. I really enjoyed that card. I was really pleasantly surprised. Brought young people in. Needs the young people, does Carl, because young people can't remember 11 years ago. So he needs the young people.
It's absolutely true. You know, and if he wants to try to stay relevant, doing what he's doing, and if that's what he's into, then go do that. It's the best shot for you, and you're going to make money doing it. And it might open up some other doors. As the Brits would say, Carl, stop being a cunt.
You can't drop the C-bomb.
Yes, I can.
Okay.
I almost certainly can.
I was going to tell him, as I did in a podcast recently, to defecate or leave the area of the pot. But you're far more direct.
That's good. That's good. My mom used to have one that she used to tell me all the time. It was biblical. She would say, "Go ye forth and multiply thyself."
That's correct. Yes, indeed. Well, he's kind of, as you say, he's reeling us in, but we've seen it all before, and he's not good enough at it. Yeah. Darren Till is very good at it because all he's got to do, sit back, as you say. He's got real charisma, Darren Till. I think that when they do, I think the fight might not be as interesting as the head-to-head, because I think Darren Till will run rings around him because he's a natural talker, and Carl Froch ain't a natural talker. And Carl Froch has got that kind of, I'm here on my ego, and my hubris is massive. Whereas Darren Till is just thinking, I don't care about any of that.
100%. Has Carl Froch achieved more in boxing than Darren Till? Absolutely. No doubt about that. Carl Froch has seen the top of that mountain. There's no doubt about that. That's something that can never be taken away, though. So stop trying to think that that's what he's taken away from you. No. Darren Till's looking for a fight. He wants profile people that also like to fight. Carl, you've said you like to fight, so just fight. That's all this is. I'm here for it. I hope it happens. Well, it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
It will. And watch out for the Rocky storyline. Watch out for that. You know, I mean, George Groves as either Burgess Meredith or Apollo Creed. That's great. I think he looks more like Burgess than Apollo, but that's great. I'm there for that all day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I can't wait to see it happen. Now, Steve, before we go, we got to find out how did the Halloween review go and what's next on the table over at World Weary Guy 1.
I really enjoyed the Halloween album. Is it called Giants and Monsters, isn't it? And it's massive. But what they do is, and what they've always done is, people go, speed metal band. No, not speed metal band at all. Loads of melody, and there's lots of that. The videos are lovely. The video that they've done recently, what's it called? Is it called A Little Is a Little Too Much or something like that? Great. The video, it's like Pink Bubbles Go Ape, and I know a lot of fans won't like that. So we've had the sad news last night that Rick Davis passed, who he was struggling with cancer, and he's passed Supertramp aficionado. So I went back and listened to the 1982 album, which is overlooked. God, what's it called? I forgot what it's called. Famous Last Words? Is it called? I can't remember. Anyway,
82 album.
82 album. The one just after Breakfast in America, because people don't really. It's Famous Last Words, isn't it? That's what it's called.
Yes.
I only podcasted about it tonight. I am 58 years old, dear viewers. So, but it is a superb album. And also, what I've got is I've gone really kind of yachty tonight because Mr. Picaro, Steve Picaro, has a single out. He's got an album coming out soon, which is called Lover Times 2 or something like that, and it's soft. It's as soft as melting butter, and if you like that sort of thing, you'll have a great time. I'm not massively keen on that sort of thing, but I do love Toto, you see, and all of that. I love all that. I vacillate with Vaseline from one side to the other. And you must be careful with that vacillation because you can go blind. But I like all of that. So tomorrow, I think I'll be back with some new wave of British heavy metal.
The newest new wave of British heavy metal.
Actually, there is an EP which from a band called Speed Slut. So you can't pass on when you see a band with a name like that.
No, you have to find out what it's all about. Absolutely. That's how I ended up at a Genitorturers concert. I'm just saying.
Was that any good whatsoever?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. And the scarring did not take very long to wear off. And I don't mean physical, I mean mental. What a show. But at the time, the person playing bass for the Genitorturers was also the boyfriend of the singer of the Genitorturers, Jeff, what's his name from I just drew a blank. It was just in my head. I just drew a blank. David Vincent.
Oh, yes. Yes. What were you doing there? Peter, Paul, Donald, Robert. Oh, yes, David Vincent.
Yes. So that was quite interesting. Listen, Steve, it's always a pleasure, as usual. I can't wait to talk to you next week so that we can talk. We will have an episode out on Sunday after that fight. No doubt about it. Listen, I'm here for it. I love it. I hope that Crawford actually pulls off the upset and sets the wheels in motion for everything that we've been talking about. There's no doubt about it that we want to see Canelo go do these other things and make all of the money in the world, right off into the sunset, and enjoy your life. Boxing is still going to be around after that, and we need to make room for all of the excitement that will be the well, you thought I was going to say Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao. No, 2026 is not only going to have that, it's also going to have Darren Till, Carl Froch. These are all things that are going to happen. And just like I've said that those two things are real, there's two other things that are real too, Steve. And you know what that is, right? Number one, Wu-Tang is for the children, and you better tuck your chin.